Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Rabbi Mark Soloway, and it is absolutely astonishing to me that just 3 days ago, in this very spot, Jews were literally set on fire in a targeted anti-Semitic attack on a group of peaceful walkers raising awareness for the 58 hostages, dead and alive, still in tunnels in Gaza after more than 600 days. I, like many others, could have easily been on the Run for Their Lives walk last Sunday, but I wasn't here that horrific day. The ripples of this trauma are immense. Several of the most badly injured and burned survivors, some very seriously burned, are members of my congregation, people I've known for over 20 years. Congregation B'nai Shalom. And the whole Jewish community is reeling, shocked that this hideous hate crime could happen right here in downtown, beautiful Boulder, Colorado. And yet, we have seen this coming. We have seen this coming. And Jews here and all over America and all over the world have not been feeling safe, not physically safe and not emotionally safe, in the face of demonizing hate speech and dangerous rhetoric. We are so grateful for the outpouring of love and support from our neighbors and our friends, elected officials, faith leaders from across the county, the state, and the world. Thank you so much for the beautiful circle right here yesterday, the circle of love and prayer and support. We felt it. I wasn't able to be here, but I felt that love radiating from this space. And let's be clear, this is not the time for pedantic analysis about the difference between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, nor to talk about the horrors of a war thousands of miles away. This was a brutal, hateful, anti-Semitic terrorist attack against peaceful Jews in Boulder, Colorado in 2025. We are really hurting. We are really angry and really sad. The victims, many of whom are here today, the witnesses, the whole community need a lot of time to grieve and to heal, though the physical and emotional scars of this will never fully heal. Demonization of others must stop. The hate speech, including in our city council, must stop. Thank you so much, Governor Polis, for your leadership and for your friendship and for gathering us here today. And it is my honor to introduce you, like you need an introduction, to welcome you to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Mark. Thank you for joining us today. It was just 3 days ago, right here, where Jewish community members from Boulder Run for Their Lives, including Ed Victor, who will share his personal experience, gathered at this site, as they often do, to shed light on the ongoing humanitarian plight of the 58 hostages still held in Gaza for 607 days. But instead of being met with a normal agreement, disagreement, conversation, people walking by, they were instead met with targeted, directed, and anti-Semitic violence in a reprehensible act of terrorism. I've spoken to some of the victims. I know some of them personally, and we pray for a full and speedy recovery for all of the victims. And I want to thank Boulder for stepping up, the first responders, the community members, some of whom were here and intervened to provide emergency assistance, help the injured, to apprehend the suspect. I want to also thank and acknowledge both city and county officials. This occurred in the city of Boulder, but on the footsteps of the county building. And that includes our commissioners who are here, Claire Levy, Marta Lochamin, and Ashley Stoltzman, and of course the county staff who work right here in this building, many of whom are here today. This was also, of course, a traumatic event for them as well. Today, we return here to the site where this occurred to show, and by deeds and words, that terrorism does not win. We are united as Coloradans, of all faiths, of all backgrounds, to make it clear that anti-Semitism, that violence and hate have no home in Colorado, not today and not ever. And we are joined by faith leaders, elected officials, law enforcement, community members standing together. We have so many Republican and Democratic members of our state legislature: Senator Matt Ball, Senator Daphne Michelson-Janae, Senator Judy Amabile, Representative Junie Joseph, Representative Shannon Byrd, Senator Mark Baisley, Representative Lori Garcia-Sander, Representative Anthony Hartsook, Representative Brianna Titone, Representative Leslie Smith, and county commissioners from other counties across the state, Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, Treasurer Dave Young. These are folks who, let's just say, don't agree on every issue every day of the week. And yet they are here with one voice, just as we have faith leaders from different faiths saying acts of terrorism are wrong, acts of violence are wrong, acts of anti-Semitism are wrong. This heinous terror attack struck just hours before the start of the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, and of course less than 2 weeks on the heels of the targeted anti-Semitic killings at the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. And as the scourge of anti-Jewish and anti-Semitic rhetoric and sadly violence continues to rear its ugly head, we want to say enough. Hate, anti-Semitism, terrorism, and violence have no place in Colorado and no place in the United States of America. We will not be silenced or scared. We will not let the demons of hate define us. Jewish tradition shares that a little bit of light can dispel much of the darkness, and coming together in unity and peace, I hope that we are in our part radiating light through the darkness. You know, there's nothing more American, more cherished than the right to peacefully make our voices heard. And that means proudly expressing our identities, our beliefs, whatever they are. And this attack in many ways struck at the very core of who we are and what we stand for as Americans, as Coloradans, freedom of expression. It's not lost on me that Run for Our Lives in large part uses the strength of silence, in and of itself a form of speech, in quiet solidarity to make their resounding point. Their weekly actions, they begin with the respectful singing of Hatikva, followed by a quiet walk, a mostly silent demonstration. And it's that quietness, that form of speech that they choose to get people's attention, that turns people's heads, it makes them notice. And it should be said that as the attack unfolded, the community, people of many faiths and backgrounds, including those taking part in the demonstration, and bystanders, I see Lynn here today, I know her well, she was there, we're all part of this trauma, regardless of who they were or why they were there. And we are all here now to say that anti-Semitic attacks are wrong and have no place in Boulder, Colorado, or in the United States of America. In our Colorado for all, there's room for everybody, for every faith, to live and thrive in communities. We'll do as we've always done before. We're going to move together with strength and resolve. We're going to pray for and hope for the full recovery of the victims. We're going to welcome them with any assistance that they need for themselves or their families. And of course, we're going to make sure that these acts of terror do not win out. We will continue to proudly express our faith, whatever it is, our beliefs, our right to safely engage in free speech and free expression for any opinions that we have in the free country and free state of Colorado. That is the way we do it, by coming together with respect, with dignity, and in full agreement to denounce acts of violence and anti-Semitism. And I appreciate and I'm proud that we have people today here of many faiths, and there would have been more. If we had more time, we could have been, but we had we have several faith leaders from different disciplines. We have Republicans and Democrats standing together against hate and anti-Semitism. Here in Boulder and in Colorado, we are resilient, and we will move forward proudly together. With that, I will turn it over to Reverend Mary Kate Ray-Jui.
Good morning. I am Mother Mary Kate Ray-Jui, and I serve at St. Aidan's Episcopal Church on Colorado Avenue. And I am with you today in solidarity as a follower of Jesus to condemn acts of hatred and violence against the Jewish community. The violence that was threatened, spoken about, planned, and enacted on Sunday afternoon in this very place was and is wrong. As an Episcopal priest and a leader of a congregation in this community, with many others who gathered in a circle, as Rabbi Mark mentioned yesterday, here to pray, we grieve the hurt that was caused, the lives and bodies that were injured. As a follower of Jesus, I also lament and repent the role of the Christian church throughout history in anti-Jewish hatred. It shall be no more. And today we offer prayers for the families of the injured and for the reverberating waves of fear that our Jewish siblings have when they gather in peace, in synagogues, in public, and in community. It should not be fearful to gather with your people peacefully. Right now is a time for grieving and tears, but let us also long for and then live and act for a new hope. In the shadow and threat of violence, Jesus told his followers to put away the sword. Let it be so again and again. We cannot change the past globally or locally. We live in a broken world, and yet every human has choices. And I appeal to you, choose healing and hope, not hatred or violence in words or in action. A threat to one faith community is a threat to all. And the values that we and I love so dearly of pluralism and freedom and democracy, we cannot have those threats. And though we differ in faith and practice, we can be united in our care and attention for each other and for those in need. We can be faithful together. Our righteousness, the righteousness that faith communities have, is neither good nor right unless it extends mercy and care to the marginalized, the oppressed, the fearful, the old, the young, the stranger, the hungry, and the hurt. We are each other's neighbors. And so today, may each of us extend a hand of friendship to our Jewish neighbors. And let us stand in solidarity with all people to build and rebuild communities of trust and human dignity and lasting peace. Thank you. It is my honor to introduce Mayor Aaron Brockett. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. And I want to thank many of my City Council colleagues for joining us here as well. Sunday, on the eve of the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, our community was shaken by an unconscionable act of anti-Semitic terror right here on our beloved Pearl Street Mall. This was not just an attack on individuals, it was an assault on the very values that define our city of Boulder. It was an attack on the Jewish community, an attack on our commitment to peaceful expression and our shared humanity. But let me be absolutely clear, Boulder will not be broken by hate. Today, we stand united against anti-Semitism, against terrorism, and against all forms of hate that seek to divide us. Our Jewish community in Boulder is woven into the very fabric of who we are as a city. An attack on any member of our community is an attack on all of us. And we wish a swift and full recovery to all of the victims. For generations, our city has been a resilient, innovative, and welcoming community for all. We are the city that rebuilt after the devastating floods in 2013. We are the community that came together after a shooter took the lives of 10 community members at King Soopers in 2021. And again, this week, Boulder has proven that our spirit cannot be shattered by those who choose violence. In the darkness of Sunday's events, we have already seen the light of Boulder's character shine through. We saw strangers rushing to help victims, pouring water on burns, offering comfort to the wounded. We saw first responders, many of whom are with us here again today, who ran toward danger without hesitation. And we saw a community that refuses to let terror win. To our vibrant Jewish community, you are not alone. All of Boulder stands with you, not just today, but every day. Anti-Semitism has no place in our town, and hate against any group of people has no place in Boulder. And we thank you. And we recognize the historical oppression that has faced the Jewish community for so many centuries. Your safety is our safety, your pain is our pain. We will not allow this act of terror to silence voices of peace or to discourage peaceful demonstration. We will not permit hatred to take root in our community. Instead, we will do what Boulder does best. We will come together, we will support one another, and we will heal together. The FBI, our police department, and prosecutors at both the state and federal level are working tirelessly to see that justice is served, and we appreciate those efforts. In the coming days, we will work with all of our Jewish community leaders, interfaith partners, and all residents to ensure that Boulder remains a place where everyone can live, work, and worship safely. We will increase security when needed, but we will not sacrifice the openness and accessibility that makes Boulder special. This moment we will prove that Boulder's strength lies not in our individual voices, but in our chorus, diverse, resilient, and unbreakable. We will not be defined by one person's act of unspeakable hatred. We will be defined by how we respond, with compassion, with unity, and with an unwavering commitment to justice and peace. Boulder does not break. Boulder does not surrender to violence or fear. Boulder rises. Thank you. And I will now have the honor of introducing Ed Victor from Run for Their Lives.
Thanks everybody for coming out. I'm Ed Victor. I'm sorry we're all here. On Sunday, I was here at this place at that time, and that's why I'm speaking to you. There's no other reason. I'm not the leader of the organization. I just happen to be here. And I thank all the people who've supported me to be here to talk to you. Run for Your Lives is a peaceful organization. What's our goal? To raise awareness that there are still hostages in Gaza, those who are still alive and those who are no longer with us. We've been walking every week since October 7, 2023. It's what we do. And as you heard, we do it quietly. As a community, we are a community like you. It's someone pushing a stroller. It's someone in a wheelchair. It's someone who looks like me. It's people who are older than me. It's called 80. I mean, that's okay. But we're just a community walking. On Sunday, it was 30. Our goal through walking quietly is people notice us. You can imagine you're standing in the Pearl Street Mall, or you're having lunch, and you're like, what? And you're seeing a banner, but you're seeing the pictures. seeing pictures of people still in Gaza. Again, both alive and no longer with us. That's our job, just to raise that awareness. We walk from the west side of the mall where the mountains are to the end, to the east. We come back to the courthouse. It was a week like every other week. I'll say I feel perfectly safe here in Boulder. I absolutely do. I'll say I was wrong, but I was absolutely felt safe. It was a normal day. On this day, we were gathering. We were setting up, lining up. What do? Personal statement, sing 2 songs, read the names. That's what we do. I remember at that time on Sunday, I was looking a little bit towards the mountains, talking to just a friend, a colleague, someone who happened to be there on the walk with me that day. Suddenly, right, like I think I heard a crash. Felt a lot of heat. And a person is on fire. A woman is on fire. I'm saying this because that's what happened. That's what I saw. And I'll tell you that my focus got extremely narrow at that time. I didn't notice anything else. I was worried about that woman, and I'll tell you, when someone is on fire, it takes too long to put them out. Whether it took 1 minute or 2 minutes, I don't remember, but I know it took too long. What do we have to put them out? You look around, you're like, there's some flags, we have a banner. You do what you can. It was myself, 2, 3 other people, doing what we could. It can be our body, whatever we could do. As a community, we gather together. I feel like I know our Jewish community is strong. And I'll say that the people who walk, in particular, they're not all Jewish. It's Jews and non-Jews walking together. Okay? We're supporting each other. I don't ask who they are. We're just people. We're names. I typically know their first names. And after this happened, I got a lot of reach out from both my Jewish community, my non-Jewish community. Jewish community temples, the JCC, the people who gather indoors and outdoors, the Boulder community, the people like you who came here together, the people who are unable to make it here today. That's who we hear from. I want to say Boulder is strong. As a community, we gather together when we uplift. I feel people's physical presence. I understand the importance of that. But I'll also say this was not okay. It really, really was not okay. And I'll just say, I know we can do more, and we must do more. Thank you. So, Jonathan Greenblatt from ADL.
Good morning, Governor Polis, Mayor Brockett, Laura and David Mirage, faith leaders, elected officials, and friends. I'm heartened and I'm touched to have been asked to join with you today and to see so many people standing in this place with the Jewish community. But as I listen to the remarks and I look around, I have to share. I am angry. I'm angry. I'm angry that someone violated the space and the sanctity created by some of the most dedicated and selfless members of this community as they were holding a march, as you just heard, for 58 people who were stolen from us, who remain in chains and in cages in tunnels in Gaza. And I'm angry that a week and a half ago, 2 young people walked out of the Capitol Jewish Museum and they were shot in the back. Their bodies were riddled with 20 bullets as they were murdered in cold blood. And I'm angry
that 7 weeks ago, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was woken up in the middle of the night by a firebomb that was thrown into the governor's mansion, into the dining room, the same place where he held a Passover Seder earlier that night. So I'm angry. And in the eyes of the assailants, in all these cases, in Pennsylvania, in Washington, in Colorado, the victims were guilty of the same crime. One crime. They were Jewish. That's right. 2025. And their offense was the fact that they were Jews. Sadly, none of this is surprising. It's entirely, totally predictable. According to ADL's tracking, the number of confirmed anti-Jewish incidents has surged in recent years to heights we never would have imagined before. The total spiked almost 350% in the past 5 years, nearly 900% in the past decade. I'm talking about acts of harassment and vandalism and violence. But you don't need a math degree to see where this trend is heading. Just open your eyes. Look at the protesters on campuses or in our streets when they chant globalize the Intifada or glory to the martyrs. This is what it means. When some groups shout Intifada is the only solution, or they insist that they want to bring the war home, this is what it means. And when someone calls into a city council meeting and says Israelis have no place in Boulder and no one speaks out, this is what it means. So let me be clear. Let me be crystal clear to everyone here today, to everyone watching. Words have meaning. They have consequences. And indeed, the Jewish people have learned a painful lesson, a raw truth over the centuries. Believe your enemies. Take them at their word. Whether it's Tree of Life or the Capitol Jewish Museum or the Hyper Cache Market in Paris or Pearl Street Mall, right here, this place in Boulder, we know exactly how vicious anti-Jewish incitement ends. And I've got to say, for far too long, even as ADL and others insisted that people in positions of authority push back against the unending harassment and waves of hate, there were those in prominent civil rights groups who told me, who told us, it's just free speech. And so many college administrators explained it depends on the context. And columnists criticized our analysis and insisted it's just anti-Zionism, not anti-Semitism. And some in elected office or public life had the audacity to contend, well, this is what happens when Israel does this or that. Or they won't even state that this attack, what happened on Sunday, was a hate crime, or that it was related to Israel, or that it was related to anti-Semitism. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the gaslighting, telling us we're not seeing what's right before our eyes. I'm sick of those who try to justify anti-Zionism. I'm sick of those who normalize anti-Semitism. And it needs to stop. It is way past time. It's way past time for our political leaders, community groups, media outlets, tech platforms, faith leaders to take action before more Jewish blood is spilled. And it's way past time to stop excusing anti-Semitic rhetoric, to stop rationalizing anti-Zionist hate, to stop equivocating when Jews, and only Jews, are attacked before things get even worse. Look, if you're sick of it too, if you're as angry as I am, if you don't want to see our communities overrun by hate, if you agree that anti-Semitism is evil, then I've got a job for you. And all it takes is a little courage. Speak out. Let the world know that anti-Semitism won't be tolerated. Flag a hateful post, sign a petition, attend a service, make a comment in city council, and set an example for your kids, for your neighbors, for your Jewish colleagues and friends. Do it at work. Do it at school. Wherever you are. And I'm asking this of you. I'm giving you this job because we can stop this rising tide of anti-Semitism if we choose to. And what happened this past weekend and what happened a few weeks ago teaches us that we have no choice. We have got to battle this bigotry with everything we have. This is the fight of our lives, and we can't afford to lose. Losing is not an option. Not now. Not ever. Yisrael Chai. Yisrael Chai. Yisrael Chai. Thank you. And I pass the mic to Imam Nader.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. In the name of Allah, God, that's the Arabic name for God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Praise and thanks be to God, and peace and blessings be upon His final Prophet Muhammad and the prophets before him, from Adam to Noah to Abraham to Isaac and Ishmael to Moses, to Jesus, and finally Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon them all. Thank you, Governor Polis, for bringing us here today together in the wake of the terrible attack that happened on Sunday, so that we can feel each other's pain. Rabbi Mark, I do feel your pain, because I know how it feels as a Muslim. The thoughts of recovery and well-being of the Muslim community here in Boulder and across Colorado, to the injured and their families. The Muslim community here in Boulder and in Colorado certainly denounces the violent hate crime that happened on Sunday. I want to say that in difficult times like this, we need to seek common ground. And I'd like to say that the descendants of Prophet Abraham, peace and blessings be upon him, whether Arab, or Abraniyin, Hebrew, Jewish, are indeed Semites. And hence, this attack is definitely anti-Semitic. Unfortunately. Since I came to know about the news, this is very special. I'm sharing something that is very personal. Since I came to know about the news, I kept recalling the various hadith, meaning sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, that tell us a lot of true stories about how he, as a prophet and head of state of Medina, at that time, dealt with and collaborated with his Jewish neighbors. There was at least 3 Jewish major tribes in Medina living at that time. Multi-faith, multicultural, very diverse society. He, peace and blessings be upon him, married the daughter of one of the chiefs of one of the Jewish tribes, Sophia. And how he gently dealt with his neighbors makes me sure that is the Islamic way of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in dealing with his Jewish neighbors. That is the Islamic way that I know. That is the Islamic way that Muslims know. And then I thought to myself, if that person on Sunday, as supposedly named Muhammad, instead of holding flammable liquids to throw on people, if he perhaps joined the walk, engaged in meaningful, fruitful conversations, trying to understand in order to be understood, and maybe the outcome of that will be that we'll all be walking in this very beautiful place for the release of hostages and prisoners on both sides, so that people overseas can achieve peace and not war. Isn't that what we all want? But here we are where we are, and we stand where we stand. Right here where it happened on Sunday. And believe me, ICD, the Islamic Center of Boulder, have been receiving hate messages as well. And we had our share of hate crime, but that's not the time to speak about that. This is about the attack on Sunday. But there's one thing that the Muslim community here in our precious Boulder, in our unique state of Colorado and across our beautiful country, stand firm and stand firm on. And that is our Islamic shared values of neighborliness. These are also American values, and I know for a fact that they are Jewish values as well. So we stand firm with our neighbors, supporting them, standing up for them in what is good, whether they are Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. That is what we need to do in order to come together. Thank you for your attention. It is my pleasure to introduce a good friend, the Executive Director of the JCC, Jonathan Webb.
Friends and neighbors, Governor Polis, elected officials, faith leaders, and every single person who chose to stand with us today. We gather this morning carrying real pain, yet we are also filled with profound gratitude. Since Sunday's vicious attack, anti-Semitic attack, support has flooded our inboxes, our phone lines, and most importantly, our hearts. In the face of an act designed to tear us apart, this space is overflowing with allies who have come together to stand with us, refusing to let hate have the last word. The victims of this terrorist attack are pillars of the Boulder Jewish community.
and have helped shape one of the most vibrant Jewish communities in the entire country. This was an attempt to unravel the fabric of this community, but we will be stronger together. A few moments ago, Rabbi Mark spoke with clarity that cut through our grief. The hate speech must stop. It is never just words. As we saw here in Boulder, hateful rhetoric turned into horrific violence. Silence, therefore, is not neutral. It is permission. So let us pledge right now, none of us will be silent. Never again will we accept hate in our community, in our Colorado, in our country, in our world. Governor Polis reminded us that hate has no place in Colorado and no place here in Boulder. Declarations are only as strong as the actions that follow them. When we leave this event, my hope is that each of you leaves with a renewed sense of purpose and accepts the responsibility of ending hate and helping us heal. Check in with your Jewish friends and neighbors tomorrow, next week, next month. Challenge hateful words whenever and wherever you hear them. Your voice carries power, and know it. Show up again for the next gathering, for the next service, the next dialogue circle. Presence is a form of protection. Join us in the wake of this tragedy on this Sunday, 11 to 3, at the 30th annual Boulder Jewish Festival that has happened here on Pearl Street every year. It is the longest continuous running Jewish festival in the country. We will not be silenced. Healing is not passive. We build it together. Conversation by conversation, meal by meal, policy by policy. Our tradition calls this tikkun olam, repairing the world. Today is one stitch in that great repair. Hold on to the sense of shared purpose you feel right now and let it guide your steps in the days ahead. From the depths of my heart and on behalf of the Boulder JCC and our Boulder Jewish community, I thank you. As together we pray for the victims of this terror attack, may we leave here strengthened, united, and unwavering in our commitment to prove that love is stronger than hate and our strength is found by being in community. As Reb Zalman of blessed memory always said, the only way to get it together is together. I'd like to invite Rachel Amaru, who brought Run for Their Lives to this community, who has tirelessly coordinated, organized, made this all happen, and lives with making this message of bringing the hostages home real and present in our community. It is my honor to welcome her to the stage.
I am not a public speaker. I have been so impressed by the speeches given this morning. This is not my thing, and I did not have any intention of making comments. I was not here this week. I walked with the Westchester Walk instead, and I am terribly sorry I was not with my group. I want to be very clear that the Boulder Run for Their Lives walk is on behalf of the hostages and only the hostages. We walked for 58 hostages. We started walking in November of 2023 for 251. We have walked nonstop in rain, in snow, in every single kind of weather. We never, ever expected what happened here to have happened to us. But our walk is for the hostages. I am positive that there are people in the Jewish community and in the entire Boulder community who will join with Muslims in walking for something that is extremely important to them and that I understand, but it is not the Boulder Run for Their Lives walk. And thank you so much for giving me this minute. I did not intend to speak. And I very much hope we will all come together on Sunday with pictures of the hostages and walk together all with one mission. Bring them home now.
Thank you all for coming this morning.